Ray one time too, though. This was like a year or so ago.
Well, this was maybe it was just like a recap of an old show I saw, but they were doing it as like a study of sociology and how many people in the over African population, how many people think this is okay. Nobody raised their hand. I think maybe one or two people.
Well, it's an Oprah show.
But still,
If you got them on Jerry Springer, everybody raised their hand.
like I did that. I credit mine.
Yeah, everybody would.
But it was really interesting that, it was up to like $1 million. Like people were actually bidding on it. I don't know if it was eBay or not, but it was interesting that, I don't know what her plan was, if she actually was going to sell it. But I think it's good. She's gorgeous. When people think of like people doing that profession, because it is a profession, whether it's legit or not, it's a profession. When people think of that, they think of somebody you're going to pick up on the corner in Baltimore or DC that has no teeth.
That's not what it is these days.
They think they're probably on drugs, just like the assumption about strippers. Women that do strippers get caught up in this scene of being a stripper. That's not always true.
That's not true.
If I could have stripped my way through college, I would have done it and paid my tuition.
I knew some strippers that put themselves through school, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's good money. And I think some women I think what it boils down to, the women that don't like it are afraid of it.
But
Their hatred comes out of fear of the unknown. And that's just society in general. And that's cultural. That's completely cultural. Gender identity is based on your culture, your life experiences, and how to career, which I guess basically goes back to your culture as well. People are afraid of the unknown.
But if I can make $1 million for one night for my virginity, I can take care of my housing, my schooling, my kids' schooling for the rest of my life.
This is going to take you far, but it's a lot more in one night versus how many years it would take you to make that.
Yeah.
It's cultural. I mean, I see a lot of the women in the city who's going to district that, they're working a day job and they're going to class at night. These are the women that are probably doing these kind of things because they have children. They have to pay their bills. Not only do they have to pay their bills, they have to work all day and they have to pay for class at night because if they want to make any sort of money in life, you need an education.
Let's talk about $4 gas too. That adds to it. It really does. Every dollar counts.
I feel like I was getting raped on the gas.
And last name? Or would my first name be okay?
First is fine. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
I don't like doing that. I'm a mother of 3.
And?
I have no job. I have no home. I have a lot of struggles.
Like what?
Getting back on my feet from a I don't know what kind of relationship I can describe that I was in.
Was it good, bad, possessive, controlling?
Controlling. Very good moments, but bad ones too.
So, if you would have asked yourself 5 years ago if you were going to be in this situation, what would you have said?
No, because 5 years ago I wouldn't have met him. Considering it's only been 4 since I've been with him.
All right. Well, let's talk about real world issues now.
Okay.
I see you smiling, kind of like a stress relief or something like that. Let's talk about your options now. Are you educated? Do you have a long work history? What are you going to do in this recession? What are you going to do? What's on your mind now? What is going?
I want to finish school.
That takes money, though, doesn't it?
Well, I'll have to eventually pay back the student loan, but I'm in a bind with having to finish that now because I owe a past due from when my financial aid got messed up. So I have to pay that first before I can re-register with the university to finish my online classes.
But you just said you're not working now.
No, I can't do that. That's one of my future goals, is to finish and get my bachelor's. But as far as jobs, I am looking for really anything at this point. I have administrative experience.
Well, who takes care of the kids?
My ex does.
And is that a bumpy relationship or?
It's has its ups and downs.
So, a lot of girls are in your position, and they turn to
Stripping,
a lot of different things on the side, call it stripping or whatever.
right?
Has that crossed your mind?
It has.
Have you made any decisions about that, or any
No.
self-conscious decisions, or?
I think I could do it, but some days are easier than others on, I guess, pushing myself if I have to do that.
So that's an option.
It is. It has been.
But
But I really, really don't want to. But
is that because your moral compass is there? Because you were brought up correctly, or?
I would say that. And because of me being a mother, I don't know if I would have the same reaction if I wasn't a parent, but just having that conscience, it would kind of.
And what do you think about your daughters? Do you want better for them, or?
Most definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. But I need income and I need a place of my own, so if it comes to that, just even for a short term, then I might consider it. I don't know. It's still up in the air.
All right, you were saying now $1,400 a month plus whatever you were making at Walmart. So that should have been enough, right?
Yeah, but it wasn't. Because I like to go shopping and I like to get high. So that wasn't enough.
So then you did what?
Then I started working at Cafe 611 as a waitress and a bartender with my sister. And the guy that owned the club told me he had a way that me and my sister could make more money. And I said, what's that? And he said, call girl. I said, I never do that. He said, why not? You make a lot of money. I said, because I'm like totally against it. And he's like, do you realize how much money you can make as pretty as you are? And I said, yeah.
So you totally against it. Why? You had moral issues with it?
Yes.
Okay. So you come from a pretty decent family, I guess.
Yeah, very, very religious and like, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
So, I kept saying no for a long time. And then he fired me and my sister from the club because he wanted us to come work for him. And we wouldn't, so he fired us from the club. And, but he still would call us every week and be like, I know you guys need money, so if you want money, you can come work for me, but you can't come work for me back at the club. So finally we were like, okay, and he took us up to Hagerstown and he put us in a hotel room. And he was like, who wants to go first? And my sister was scared too, so I did, because she's a little younger. So I went first. And that was my first appointment I ever did. It was with a guy from Saudi Arabia. He was a young business guy over here. So then me and my sister, Renelle took us down to Miami and had us working down there, and he just turned into a totally different person. He started being really mean. He wouldn't let us leave the hotel room, and he wouldn't let us go out. He wouldn't let us get high off of anything. He just stopped giving us all drugs. So I called my husband's aunt. Etta, who lives in Georgia, and I told her that he was keeping us down there and he wouldn't let us leave. So she sent us money and we jumped on a Greyhound bus, came back up here, stayed down in Baltimore. So that was the first appointment I ever did, and then I worked for Renelle for 6 months. but I didn't like it because he took all my money. He didn't take half of it, he took all of it. I mean, yeah, granted, he kept me in nice hotels and I was comfortable and had everything I needed, and I went shopping, but he took all my money.
Whatever, she's just rambling on again. But last night when you did that, that just totally like hurt me. Like I was beyond hurt. Like I don't even know. I'm just like totally embarrassed. Like I don't think you realized how ignorant and nasty you were. I mean, seriously, you treated me like a total dumb bitch. I don't think you understand that. I don't think you understand, like, I don't think you mean it. I just think you get upset and you just say stuff and then you don't realize how bad it hurts other people. I mean, seriously, last night, babe, I was so excited to come home. I was so excited to spend time with you. You know what I'm saying? I was excited about your brother coming over. You know what I'm saying? I tried to be nice. I tried to do everything in my power to make it nice for you. I bought, you know what I'm saying? Even though it was stupid, I bought snacks, you know what I'm saying? I smoked with them. We chilled, you know what I mean? I tried to offer them everything we possibly can, you know what I'm saying? I just tried to make it like a really good night for you because I knew you know what I'm saying? You like having your brother around. But now I'm like totally embarrassed and like, I don't know, like I would never like, I don't know. I'm just really hurt and embarrassed right now. See, but you don't know why, babe, but you gotta understand something. Okay, that's what you think though. The sad part is, that was the truth. Jen sat there, you were so mad and upset and yelling and so like wanting to call me names and wanting to call me a liar and wanting to embarrass me in front of everybody. You didn't even hear what Jen said. You didn't even hear when Jen said, Isaiah, calm down. That is true. It did happen. And, alright, Isaiah, alright. Isaiah, whatever. We did let it go. No, I know you're stressed out. No, don't get ignorant. I know I'm not the only one with problems. Don't go there. Alright, Isaiah, you're just being ignorant right now. Alright, truthfully, right now I don't even need anybody to be ignorant. Okay?
Boyfriend?
Yeah, you're so ignorant. You ready? He sat last night in front of his brother and called me a piece of shit, a compulsive liar, I'm not a real woman,
Over what? Oh, was it
over a story that I said, and he just totally ruined my birthday, ruined everything. You don't understand how ignorant and disrespectful he is at his mouth to me.
Okay. What's your name?
My name's Christy.
What's your age?
I'm actually 27 today.
Stay focused on
Oh,
that.
excuse me. Sorry.
Tell me a little bit about
I'd rather you sit over there.
Tell me a little bit about your background.
Well, I came from a good family. My parents were divorced. My father raised me. My parents were very good parents. I guess you wouldn't say we were wealthy, rich, but my father had his own company. My mother was she's a vice president of another company. I mean, I never wanted for anything. And that's...
Religious?
No, not really.
Go to church?
Christmas time. That's about it.
Brothers, sisters?
I have a sister that's 22. and I have a stepbrother that is 17, and that's it.
So, how did you wind up in your situation? What was
Well,
tell me about the first time. How did you wind up in your situation?
This is how it started. First thing was I had a son. I got pregnant. Then I started dancing down the block, and then I started dancing down the block. And once I was down there, I was introduced to different opportunities that I could make money. And at that time, I'm still a single mother, but at that time I just had a son and I needed extra money, so I jumped up on it, and the money was so good and so fast that I liked it. And then after that I said, well, why am I here giving my money to somebody else when I could just get all the money? So I was introduced to a site on the internet that I was on. I was on that for 2 years, got arrested twice. Never been arrested before in my whole entire life. And that's how it was. And I just continued doing that for 2-3 years until I was fed up.
So, do you have drug problems, or do you have a history of abuse? Has someone ever abused you? Because I mean, just talking to some of the other females, they have some kind of history of violence or abuse in their family.
Actually, I really didn't have any abuse. My father raised me, but my father was also was addicted to drugs when I was young, and he got himself clean, and he took care of himself. But I never had a strict parents or strict family. You know, my father would always let me do whatever I wanted, and always just trust my whatever I did. He trusted me and let me do what I wanted.
So the money's good. Is that a good reason?
The money's
to do?
excellent.
You can't find anything to.
Never. I would come home on a bad day with maybe $400 a day. Come home on a good day with $1,200 to $1,500, and that would take me 3 hours, if that.
A lot of people don't make that in a week sometimes.
Oh yeah, now I'm realizing that. I mean, now I don't do that at all. I haven't done that in almost close to about 6 months, and I'm completely clean. I don't do any drugs. I never did hard drugs though. Only drugs that I did was Percocet, so I never really did any other hard drugs or anything like that. But it's hard from going from having, in 1 week you have a bank account that had nothing, to having $5,500 in it in 1 week, to going to having a paycheck that you're working $10 an hour and your paychecks are $500 for a week and a half. I mean, it's very hard.
So tell me about your first customer.
My first customer is down the block, and he paid the bar $360, and then
this was at the bar?
It was at the bar, yeah. And he paid the bar $360, and then he paid me $360, and we went upstairs there's a secret, it was like a secret room down where I used to work at, and we went upstairs, and I remember, all I remember is just like praying to myself that we can just get this done and over with soon, and I would just have the money, and all I was thinking about was the money, and I just totally blanked out everything else. And I remember the first time it was, I didn't do anything. I wouldn't do anything with him. I just would, I just sat there and took my clothes off and let him take care of himself, and then he ended up scarring me for life. He started peeing, and it got all over my leg. I didn't realize, and all over my body. I didn't realize that he was peeing, and he was peeing on me. And ever since then, it actually scared me. That was the first time. So yeah, he peed on me, and actually, I remember me screaming, and the bouncers came up and took him and made him leave.
So tell me some stories. Tell me some weirdos. Tell me about the crazies you run into.
There's a lot of crazies, especially on Craigslist.
Or do you have security issues? Are you fearful when you...
I never was. For a whole year and a half, I never was until I actually set up an appointment one day. It was a Saturday, and I set up an appointment. This black guy called me, and I'm not racist at all, but I just choose to, when I would see customers, I just would choose not to really see any young black men. They would have to be, mine was 30 and up, and they had, and if you were a black man, you had to be 30 and up or older, you know, and this guy came and knocked on my door, and he was young, and all I remember is telling myself, Christy, just do it, get it over with, you need the money, and let's just get it done with, you know? And I just told myself, let's just do it. So I remember letting him come into my apartment. He went into my bedroom, he put $200 down on the dresser, and he asked me if he could use my bathroom, so I said sure. And then he said, will you get me something to drink? And I said sure. So I was leaning in the refrigerator, and he came out the bathroom and put a gun to the back of my head and told me to walk in the bedroom, and he made me get all my clothes off, and all I was saying to him is, please don't kill me, I have a little boy, I'm a mother, please don't kill me, I'm a mother, just take everything, I don't care what you take, just don't hurt me, I'm a mother. All I can think about is my son, and all I could think about is my girlfriend was about to bring my son home, and I was just like, what if she walks in and he tries to hurt me or my child, you know?
So it can be a dangerous business.
Absolutely.
What about weird stuff? What sex stuff? What do guys do? They ask for crazy stuff. Tell me a weird story.
I have had guys that have came in with metal poles that wanted me to stick them up their anal. I mean, I've had women that have came in and paid me and dropped their husbands off and said, take care of them, I'll be back to get them. I mean, I have had so many crazy situations. I've had people that I mean, in this world, you don't trust anybody. Seriously, especially in this industry, you don't trust anybody. Because you will win some, you'll lose some.
So, key point here. So, this is an industry. This is something that a lot of people do. That you're just not you're not the only person doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you got
more than you expect.
You have a lot of girlfriends that do this.
I don't have a lot of girlfriends that do this because I try to keep my business to myself, and I don't really tell my friends because when people find out sometimes when you're doing stuff, they judge you. And
do you find a lot of girls they fall into the same situation as you do? I mean,
absolutely.
So your situation was it?
My situation was
or how did you just bump into just financial problems?
I just had financial problems. I was living at a motel. My father moved away from me. He was like my security blanket. When he left, I had nowhere to go, so I was jumping from friend's house to friend's house. And I mean, I like nice things. I like $250 purses and nice clothes. Like I said, I didn't come from a poor family. I got whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted, how much I wanted. I was never told no. So I never liked the word no, so I always wanted the most of everything, the best of everything. And I had a son, and I had to take care of him by myself. And then I just got so wrapped up in it that you get so wrapped up in this and just doing this job and it's easy. I mean, in 1 hour, I could make $900. I could have one guy come in the room and him come in here and me say, just for you walking through the door, it's going to be $200. Oh, you want me to get naked? That's another $200.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can make a lot of money.
It's commonly called the world's oldest profession, but do you look at it that way, or do you look at it as prostitution, or do you have moral issues with it, or
truthfully, any person, any female that does that, I mean, of course there's tons of stuff that goes through their head. I mean, of course you don't know anything about these people that you're seeing. You don't know nothing.
Do you become numb to it?
Yeah, you do. I mean, the main thing I can't speak for everybody else, but I know the main thing that I was worried about was diseases and germs and stuff like that. I mean, I was really careful. I was offered $10,000 once to have sex without a condom and stuff like that, and I told him absolutely not. I mean, out of 50 times, I might have had sex twice.
So there is a limit then for you.
Oh yeah, it's a limit. It depends on you. You are the limit. You depend on what happens.
Let's talk about pimps and sugar daddies. Let's talk about pimps first and sugar daddies.
Okay.
And what's the difference and how do you get hooked up with these guys, or they just come around, or what?
Okay, well, I can't really talk about a pimp. I've never had a pimp. I mean, I've never had somebody. I just don't understand it was bad enough that I had to do what I had to do, but bad enough that I was not going to give all my money to somebody else. I mean, there is a lot of females out here that do this and then give all their money to somebody else, to a man, to a pimp. I mean, I don't understand that. I did it all alone. If I was doing this, I wanted all the money to myself. I didn't want to have to give no money to nobody. I mean, truthfully, I didn't want nobody to know about that, but Craigslist and stuff like that is so populated and so many people go on there that it's very hard to be discreet. You know, I mean, I've had phone calls on my cell phone from people that I went to school with that I didn't even know that that's who they were until I met them, you know? And then they say, I didn't know you did this. And, you know, it's some parts it's embarrassing and some parts it's not. You know, you got to do what you got to do. If you're a single mother and you're struggling, you have to do it. If you don't, I mean, there's some good things about it and there's some bad things about it. Yeah. I mean, physically, it depends on the female. I mean, I am not like all the other females. Mm-hmm. Not every guy that came through the door I would do something with. Mm-hmm. I would try to make as much money as I could without having to do anything, truthfully.
So, all right. Well, let's talk about so you have a son. Let's talk about now. What you're trying to do now, and talk about your son and what kind of goals. And I know it's because of the economy. It's rough for a single mom out there.
Oh my gosh, it's crazy.
No degree, smart but not completely book educated. What are your options now?
Well, truthfully, when I was doing what I was doing before, and I was very lonely.
But you get every guy in the world that comes.
I could have any guy in the world, but no guy in the world was, you know what I mean? No guy in the world would want to have a girlfriend that did what you did, you know what I mean? And, you know, it's hard. It's like you live a separate life. I mean, you live two lives. And I still live two lives, even though I don't do it. My background is hard. I mean, I haven't done it in over, I would say, between 6 months to a year. And I have a boyfriend. You know, I never had a boyfriend before when I did this because it was so hard to keep a boyfriend because it was hard. You were living a lie, you know what I mean? And then you were making so much money, and then people would want to know, how are you making this money if you don't work? And it would be hard. And then another thing is, you know, people talk, of course, and stuff like that. And my thing is, all I wanted was a boyfriend. And I also wanted money. So I sat down one day and just said, I'm just disgusted with myself and I don't want to do it anymore. After I got busted twice, I would have the police department call me and say, Christy, get off of Craigslist. The detectives will call my phone and say, I just saw you post, get off of there. And I'm sitting here like, what is my life came to? I'm living at a motel. I have nothing. Now at this time, I have gave my son to my mother to help me because I didn't want him to living in a motel. So I lost a lot of stuff. I've lost my son. I've lost tons of men that possibly could be wonderful men that I gave up because of this. But now I have no interest in doing it. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm of course having problems getting a job and struggling, stuff like that. I mean,
so it's still not out of the question. But you have
actually, it's not. I mean,
you have other goals, or you still have a
my goal right now is to get a full-time job. I mean, I did have a job up till a couple actually hours ago. But my goal is to have a full-time job, have a family, have a husband, live the American life and be successful and have a paycheck and not have to show my body to get money.
It's all right. Okay.
It's not like I just want a trophy or anything. It's not really something I want to
Speak up.
put out there.
Well, what's your name? Maybe we can start there.
Sarah,
How old are you?
I'm 20.
And this is one of the last days of 2012. How's this past year been for you? Just tell me what's been going on in your life in this past year. Good, bad, otherwise.
It's been alright, I guess. I had a good job going for a while, and then I got sick and I had to quit because they wouldn't let me take out for the time that I needed, and just like bronchitis, and I had a really sore throat, and it was like out to here, and then other than that,
So, what were you doing? What kind of job did you have?
I was working at PetSmart as a dog groomer.
Making pretty good money?
Yeah,
How much?
I mean, pretty good money to me, I guess. I was making $10 an hour plus tips.
Okay. And what about now? What's your economic situation now? Speak up.
Like, what do you mean?
Anything. What do you do for an income now?
How do I say this? Sometimes I have to say this.
How do you make your money now? Do you hustle? I mean,
Yeah, I hustle.
okay. Okay. I mean, is it good money? Is it better money than PetSmart?
Yeah, I mean, of course, but that's why it's called hustling.
Okay.
But that's not how I want to make it.
So what made you first get into this? I mean, into the whole hustling scene, or whatever you want to call it? What was the final straw? What made you say, okay, I got to do this? Was it?
Just the fast, quick money that I needed.
And what did you need the money for?
Rent, bills, cell phone, car, food,
Like everybody else.
clothes, yeah.
Okay. Because we're currently in a recession,
Yeah.
or at least coming out of it, and I think it's hit a lot of females in a negative way.
Yeah.
So, boyfriend, married, kids.
No kids, no boyfriend. I have a dog.
Okay. Okay. So, did you ever think about doing, I guess, the dancing scene?
Yeah, I was into that.
Okay. How long did you do that?
About a year. McDougal's, fantasies,
Speak
night
up.
shift.
Was that good money?
McDougal's, night shift, and fantasies. Yeah, it was really good money until I don't know. I just was fed up with the way that people treated me at McDougal's, and I just stopped going there. And I think I blew my last straw there probably. So I haven't went to try out other places.
Okay.
The clothing and shoes are very expensive as well.
So you have a high fashion taste. You
Yeah.
There's a certain amount of money you have to make.
Yeah.
Okay. I've only got about 5 more questions. So,
Okay, thank God.
don't be nervous. So, tell me about your first quote unquote customer. Tell me about the first customer you remember. What was the situation? What happened?
I don't think I can remember.
You can't remember?
No.
Oh, okay. Just been hustling too long, or it's been?
No, I just have a bad memory. Like I couldn't tell you who I went to school with either.
Okay, that's fine. There's no right or wrong answer here.
I'm trying to think, but I really can't.
Well, one of the first people, then. One of the first guys, or
It was alright. It was actually, I made really good money the first time. It was actually someone from McDougal's.
okay.
And, I don't know, I think he, caught feelings for me. And, I guess stopped seeing me inside the club and would see me outside of the club instead. It took me a while to actually come up with his offer. But then after that, it was okay. After
after I felt comfortable with them and we started to become cool. And
So I guess you meet some pretty nice people here
yeah,
doing this.
sometimes.
Well, what about, I guess, some of the creeps? Well, tell me a horror story. Anyone you want.
I really haven't had too many bad experiences, thank God. But I had one guy run out on me for money, but that's about it. Nothing too serious.
Well, what about creeps or different fetishes or just really just something disgusting? Something I won't have to edit here.
I don't know, like I've had a few people ask me if I could pee on them.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know how far that would go. But I've never done it though. I don't think I could actually. That's about it.
Okay.
Yeah, there's really nothing.
So
Crazy.
you sound like a normal girl.
Yeah, maybe if 5 more years from now, if I still kept on, I would probably have some more wilder stories, but hopefully not.
Okay. Two more questions. Any history of abuse in your family?
No. My family was actually, I was raised really good. Went to school every day, got good grades. My mom worked every day, 7 days a week. My dad, 7 days a week.
And how's your relationship with your folks? Your dad?
It's good actually. My dad, he lives in West Virginia now. He just bought another house with his girlfriend. My mom, we lived together with my sister, and that's about it. But my parents bought me everything I wanted when I was a kid. Just a young, typical, spoiled little girl in school, I guess you could say.
And so, is this a risky business you're in?
Yeah, it is.
You want to be out of it soon or later, or can you see yourself doing it for a while?
No. I'm barely doing it now, but I'm trying to stop. It's just hard, just to
You
get easy money.
You just like to go shopping.
Yeah, I do actually. I just went shopping today.
Perfect.